Welcome and thanks for joining. This is the Yoked Podcast, where we talk about all things entrepreneurship, real estate, and partnerships. I'm your host, Travis Hall, and this is my wife and co-host, Ingrid. We have been in this business for the past 16 years, and in that time, we have done millions of dollars of real estate deals, always as an equally yoked husband and wife team.
On this podcast, we will interview successful entrepreneurs as well as have our own authentic conversations around partnerships. Of course, we'll be providing expertise in all facets of real estate.
As always, be sure to like, subscribe, and follow along as we drop a new episode each week. Enjoy this episode of
The Yoked Podcast.
All right, welcome to the Yoked Podcast.
Welcome for the first time ever.
This is the official first episode. We've cheated. We've recorded a couple already as practice.
Glad.
Wow, this is typical. Yes, you were very. We figured if the first episode was just terrible, then nobody would want to listen or watch.
Yes.
So this is us. No, this is episode number 7, I think. But this is the first actual episode.
That'll be
episode
airing.
1. Yes, welcome. We're excited. Like the intro said, I'm Travis. This is Ingrid.
Hi.
And we're excited to be here talking about being yoked. And so today, the episode is all about what is yoked and why did we choose yoked and what does it mean and where are the boxes that are supposed to be here for being yoked. And so I think it's going to be a short one, but let's just talk about yoked and how we arrived here and let you take that because it was your idea.
Yeah. So I think it's important to tell the audience that we have been trying to, or I should say, we have set out to.
We're practicing, so let's get a little closer.
Got it. Okay.
Right.
Practicing still. We decided to do a podcast. Well, we've thought about it for a few years.
Mm-hmm.
And 3, honestly. And no wonder people don't start podcasts for a while because it is hard to do. The equipment and what am I even going to talk about and who cares? But at the end of the day, it's really a couple of reasons that we decided to start a podcast. First and foremost, it's a very efficient and effective way to get information out there into the world. We've been asked by colleagues and family, friends, hey, you guys should start a podcast or when are you going to be on a show? I'm like, oh my gosh, I would never be on a show. But we really feel like we have lots of gifts that we've been given and that lots of experience that we've acquired over 15 years of being in the real estate industry that
and we're doing it together.
Yes. And as a husband and wife team.
Piece we've noticed in all of the hundreds of entrepreneurs that we've met, like there are a lot that do it together, but not necessarily.
Yeah. Or they do a facet of it together, but not all of it.
Yeah. And culturally, I feel like it's a gift that I have you.
Yeah, I would say that.
More norm that, like me, like
sure.
The guy just goes and does this stuff. But I have you lockstep, like right next to me doing it together.
Yeah. Private money, lending, investments, certainly development, anything like that is a more male dominant field. I think when it comes to being a broker, that is probably 50-50. I actually think it's a little more women than men. So that is a unique part of our story too. So podcast is just a great way to give back to the world and to the audience. And hopefully you can glean some information from this that you find helpful.
And video podcast is just because that's what we're supposed to do.
And it's really hard.
Yeah, exactly. So welcome to YouTube.
Welcome. I had to go start a YouTube profile when
you
they did this.
All right. So, that's yoked. But why yoked?
Yeah. Why the name?
Why the name Yoked?
I know.
I love it. But some people are like, what?
Like what on earth? Yeah.
It's a farm podcast.
Sure. We have oxen at home.
Or it's a getting jacked at the gym podcast.
Okay, we never even knew that was a term used in that the gym people use.
We as an Ingrid.
Yeah. Ingrid did not know that until we started it. So obviously growth, physical growth in the gym, right?
I think it's more of a slang term,
Getting
right?
Yoked. Okay, I'm yoked, like I'm ripped. Okay, so that's
where it came from.
No, but honestly, the word yoked was something that we clung to when we were in marriage counseling. So we did marriage counseling. We've done it on and off a few times. Right now we're graduated, but you always go back. You always go back for more schooling. But our counselor, when we were describing what it was going to be like for Travis to step out of his 10 years at the church into our real estate business, like what are some of the challenges we're going to run into doing it together? What are the frustrations we're going to have? And we walked through a lot of that with her. She's amazing. Highly recommend marriage counseling, even if it's just for a tune-up. And one of the questions she put us to was, are you guys equally yoked? And we're like, whoa.
Well, and it was Christian counseling.
Yep.
And so it's kind of like biblically rooted, this idea, but it did hit us for whatever reason. It hit us like a ton of bricks.
Yeah.
And she was like, it doesn't need to be in every single facet of your life, but we interweave a lot of things, marriage, work, different facets of work, parenting.
Yeah.
So like, there's a lot of
that
connection, which is awesome. But she's like, you need to make sure that you're equally yoked and like have that as like your foundation for what you're doing.
Yeah. And so I think she definitely was referring to carrying the burden, right? And then biblically, Matthew 11 verses 28 through 30, Jesus talks about specifically his burden, his yoke, and what that looks like. And so it is a metaphor that we're using in the podcast of what does it look like to be yoked to something. So a physical yoke for oxen obviously is a wooden bar that you hook two oxen to, and together they carry a load. Jesus talks about helping carry a load together. And so for us, it is carrying whatever we're doing together. But we'll pose the question a lot to guests of like, what are you yoked to in this facet of your business, in this facet of your life?
Like right now.
And right now. Yeah. Obviously those things change all the time. But I think for the audience's sake, we're asking them, what are you doing in your business, your life, that without it, you couldn't do as much?
Right.
So what is helping propel you forward? What is making you more efficient? What is keeping you in your lane? What is making you more productive? What is feeding your soul more, where without it, you're like, I would never be able to do this.
Yep. Well, and it's different than being chained to. It's not being chained to something. It is, the whole idea is being yoked to it. You actually can do more than double. You know, like this whole idea of you get two ox, like it's not like they can just pull twice as much. They can pull more than that.
Yeah.
And so it's a benefit of being equally yoked.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So let's, you had this idea of making it fun, of like
a rapid round,
giving the audience ideas of what can you be yoked to in certain, instances. And
I think the audience tunes in and they're like, what on earth? What? A real estate and partnership podcast?
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So all those things. And so we have some, as you can see in the camera, bowls of ideas.
And there are two different categories. So I have business, and you have, you didn't know this, and you have like personal things. So they're about the same amount of things. And so I think we'll just go through like some rapid ideas. Yeah, ideas.
Well, the idea is just that, it's not scripted. This is just.
Yeah.
All right. Are you going to go first?
Yeah, you go first.
So am I going to say it and you will respond?
Or we can both respond.
Okay.
We'll pop in together.
Okay, I like this one. So today, minus staying motivated, what are you yoked to stay motivated?
Oh, yeah. Good one. Honestly, beginning of the year, it's easy to be motivated, I feel like.
Because we're goal setting people.
And we are goal setting people.
Goals, let's do it.
Yes.
Yep.
I still think some kind of reminder for the end of the year, what you're working backwards towards all year, right?
Yep.
So at the end of the year, I want to be this person. I want to have this thing. I want to be this kind of parent. That end goal is like every single decision that I make throughout the day. And if I want to get up early to go work out, and if I want to eat healthy, keeps me yoked to that. So that end goal right now. Same.
Cool.
What about you?
I think mine would be affirmations.
Oh, yeah.
Like daily affirmations of like, simply like, I am blank. And like, I journal. And so journaling those, just like simple reminders of like, I am this, I am fit, I am healthy, I am strong, I am successful, whatever it is, like it helps me stay motivated at the beginning of the day of like, all right, now I'm going to go crush it.
Rush
it. All right.
All right.
You do the next one.
Okay, what are you yoked to when it comes to running a short-term rental?
Oh, nice. Real estate specific.
Yay.
I'd be curious what you would say. I think of two things for sure. For one, software. So as far as like VRBO and Airbnb, like they have to communicate together, and so we use a software called Hospitable, and so I'm yoked to that because it is our channel manager. It manages communication. We have automatic communication that goes out for some things. We can respond, and whether it's VRBO or Airbnb, wherever the guest is coming from, we can respond directly through that, and it helps. It just keeps everything logistically like sound.
Yes.
What about you?
In
You said the
addition
same?
to that, because that is helpful for multiple properties,
Yeah, and
multiple
that piece
channels.
is key too.
But I would say the other thing you have to be yoked to with a short-term rental is the reliability of your cleaner.
Yeah, amen.
And we've had an experience where like the cleaner, like she was fine. She did fine.
Yeah.
And we sometimes got complaints, but she never missed a cleaning. She was there every time, every turnover. You could throw some money at the guest if they weren't happy with the level of cleaning, but that's really hard to do if they don't show up at all. So
Right.
I would say right now, reliability of your cleaner.
Yeah,
Same day
they are
turnovers.
the linchpin. That's so
Yes,
true.
You live and die by them.
We've only had one time where the house didn't get cleaned.
And it
and
was
they
an
were-
emergency.
Yeah, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, we're so sorry," and they went and did it right then. And the guest was super gracious and understanding.
Thank
But
the Lord. We're like, go have dinner on us. Really,
Exactly.
please. Lots of drinks.
okay, let's keep going. Oh, I love this one. Coffee. What are
No.
you yoked to when it comes to coffee? That's a fun, stupid one. But
Okay.
for those of you who don't know
It's
us,
not
we
stupid.
love coffee. I'm more of a coffee connoisseur than you are, but you're more of a diva than me when it comes to coffee. I think.
I am a diva when it comes to coffee, but honestly, what I am yoked to when it comes to coffee is you.
Fair. I'm your
Total-
built-in barista. As
I
I
am a
sip my
passenger
coffee.
princess. Travis gets the coffee ready. Travis will make me a latte. Travis will make me a flat white. He'll make me a Cubano. Definitely yoked to you.
All right, I like it. I'm yoked to. It depends on. I'm gonna say I'm yoked to. This is my morning coffee. I'm yoked to Huckleberry Roasters,
Okay, with blends.
Blue Orchid.
Blue Orchid. So good.
So for those of you who don't know, Huckleberry Roasters is here in Denver, and it's amazing. Won Roast of the Year 2 years ago. So good, and I'm yoked to that. I'm yoked to my 5-pound bag of coffee that I get every month.
That's still not enough sometimes.
I'm yoked to that. I like it.
Okay. Next, what should a first-time homebuyer be yoked to?
A good one. Good question. I'm gonna go with the lens and the lane of like I'm a traditional buyer on the market. Man, you gotta be yoked to flexibility, and I'm a realtor, and so you gotta be yoked to a professional. If you're on the market and a normal, like there's so much, and a good realtor,
Yes.
somebody that knows and understands. Like there is so much to it. There's so many hurdles. It's not a one and done deal. Yeah, a good professional in your corner.
I would say,
I mean, like really, like it sounds stupid, like as the realtor saying that, but we were in real estate for a decade before we became realtors, and so it's important.
it is.
It is.
I would say first-time homebuyer too, specifically, you need to be yoked to your monthly payment and work backwards from there. Again, okay, I want to be all in for $4,000 a month. That's what these different price points get me. Okay, I have to add an HOA on this one. Okay, insurance is more on that one. That's really a lender's lane. But being yoked to that end payment and sticking to it, not going over it.
Yeah, that's so true. Instead of like what you're qualified for, who cares?
Yeah.
If your budget doesn't allow that, like your actual budget, not like what the lender says your budget is, like what you want to pay every month. Okay, let's keep going.
We gotta speed up.
Yeah, we got to, and we don't have to do all of them, but this is good, helpful ideas. All right, let's get this one. Mine is date night. What do you yoke to on a successful date night?
Honestly, the most successful date nights for us have some kind of recreating
Yeah, it does.
together where,
Activity.
in activity. Like we work together all day long. So it's not necessarily providing space. This is for us, providing space for us to catch up, right, about our day. Like we pretty much know exactly what happened all day long for the other person, but it is some kind of activity where, you could go bowling. We've got paddle boarding. I mean, a million things, but some kind of active activity. I feel like our best date nights have that.
I agree. And I think for us too, like, it's not just like intentionality. Because I mean, we do go on dates pretty regular. We're like a two, average probably two a month. But we get to work together all the time. And so with that, I feel like for us, the intentionality of turning off work is what it's so easy to, like, the work conversation. You leave work, we leave here, and then we go straight to date night. Nothing changed. Like, it's for myself especially. It's easy for it to just keep like, well, we're on a date.
Yeah.
We're at dinner.
And do not disturb.
Right.
Do not disturb and open table. Okay, there's like 4 things you could be yoked to.
That's true. I think the gist is there, though.
Okay. So we just said a buyer. What should a seller be yoked to? If you're selling your home.
Today.
That's
what it's so unique, is that right now, 2025, the market is different. And so I think, man, you got to, assuming you're not a for sale by owner, don't do that. Unless you're a realtor or unless you're like in the market. Like, there's so many things people are trying to get you. So you're on the market, you're selling your home. What should be yoked to? I think open-mindedness right now. Like, I mean, people are going to try to lowball you, but I think any offer that you get, you should be open-minded at least to explore it. It's not 2021 where you could just stick a sign on the yard and sell it for $200,000 over asking. It's not that right now. And so buyers have a lot more leverage right this very minute, today. And so as a seller, like, being open and flexible. I mean, truly the same thing, like, and listening. Realistic expectations.
Yes. Honestly, nothing to add to that one. I love it.
Yeah, totally. All right, let's do one more. You good with that?
Yeah. And I'll end on, I got one more good one.
Okay, let's do this. This is a fun one. Parenting.
Parenting.
Mine says boys because we have a boy and a girl, but let's just do parenting in general.
Okay.
You do parenting of girls. I'll do parenting.
Okay, you go first.
Parenting of boys of Anders. What about yoked to? 2 things.
And our kids are 6 and 8.
Yeah, so
we only have that perspective.
That's true. First grade, 6-year-old. One thing I'm yoked to is wrestling.
Oh yeah,
and
physical.
Really for both of them. He's more physical than Malin, obviously, but Malin does love it. But yoked to just like, man, I mean, he like his main thing right now is trying to hit me in the lower region. He does. I'm like, dude, but just like body slamming, wrestling, being very physical. So that I'm yoked to that for sure. And then the second thing with him is we have this thing where we're chatting a lot, where it's like private communication, where it's like, hey, I need to talk to you. And nothing is off limits. And, I talk to him, and he talks to me. So I think just communication, wrestling and open communication.
And I will build on that, because I would say that is my parenting hack right now, for sure, or something I am yoked to with the kids is communication, where coming from a place of curiosity, constant questions reflected back to them. Okay, this will buy you time, parent, or adult in a little person's life, like buy you time to think about what you actually want to say. But when faced with a comment, a question where I'm like, what? Instead of saying that, it is, what does that make you think?
Yeah.
Or tell me more. Or, that's interesting. What do you, and it really, coming from a place of curiosity, so you can better understand their heart, but also.
And you do that with Malin very well.
Yeah. And part of it is wanting to understand them so that I can be better in the future.
Right.
So, okay, last one. Ready?
Yep.
Choosing finishes for a flip. What are you yoked to? You don't do this part.
I mean, don't overthink it. Like you should be yoked to looking at what else is out there that's selling. Not
on the market. Yes, what sold.
Market meaning it sold quickly and it looked really good. To do that,
I would say don't reinvent the wheel and know the difference between a personalization and an upgrade. Just because you liked it doesn't mean the market likes it. So being humble yourself to know when to do.
Move yourself and put others in that seat. Oh, that's good.
Well, that's a wrap.
Well, that's the idea.
First episode ever.
That is the Yoked Podcast. We're excited. Be sure to like and subscribe and follow along with us. We're going to drop one every single week on Thursdays, I believe. Is the game plan.
Yes.
And it's going to be awesome. We're excited. Any final words of wisdom for us?
No, we're glad you're here. Join the journey.
See you next week.